Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raw Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a video about how supermarkets are exploiting you and your data and how we have sinister and dark times coming ahead.
First up, have you got a Nectar card? Well, if you do, Sainsbury's have just sold your data to the tune of £300 million. And Tesco, well, they do the same things.
But they're punishing customers who don't sign up to a loyalty card.
Retailers are accused of putting up the prices of some items
before applying a reduction. So the so-called discounts are just the regular price.
If you go to supermarkets now, there's two different prices. It's kind of predatory pricing in a way.
Probably the first example.
So if you go shopping here in the UK, you'll notice that when you go for your to pay for a price, there will be two types of prices. So if you're part of their loyalty scheme, whether it's Club Card or Nectar Card or whatever, you'll be charged a cheaper price because you're part of the club. The reason they want you to buy at a discounted price isn't because they're giving you any preferential treatment. It's because they want to monitor your purchasing habits, and then they will sell that to big data companies who then make profiles on you to assess what you buy, what you won't buy, your spending habits, and then, which is again, why are they doing this? You could be saying, oh, it's just market research, but how can this be used for evil, manipulative ways? For example, if they know that you're buying a certain thing, right, online, maybe when you log in online to buy something, the price has changed because they know that you'll buy this no matter what the price is. Whereas if it's, for example, an item where you don't care, you buy like the cheapest one, like tomato sauce, for example, you always buy the cheapest tomato sauce. Then they're gonna use that item and just offer you the lowest quality one because you'll buy it at the cheapest price, whatever, right? But if it's a certain brand that you're always buying, then they might raise up the price to you by 20% just because they know you buy that brand no matter what. And this is how sinister these companies can get.
Of what today is called big data.
Oh, where's the money on this? Where's the scam?
There's one human desire that controls our lives in every way, from addictions to social habits to how you interact with those around you. That being the crave for dopamine, the pursuit of a rewarding neurochemical, something that stimulates your brain and makes you feel good or that you've gained something, even when this isn't always the case. And despite dopamine being an overused buzzword,
so let's think about dopamine.
Why is this big focus on dopamine? Is because dopamine is a way for people to control you. If they can control your reward system, then they'll be able to control your habits and the direction your attention flows to. Why is all this important? Basically, we live in strange times. We live in times where big tech are using their platforms, their influence to exert control, because humans have a tendency to seek power, and the ultimate power that you can ever have is if you have power over other humans. So if they're able to control you, if they can control your buying habits, if they can control the resources, if they can control where your attention goes, then they will, in matter of fact, be controlling you. It's a type of enslavement. It's a type of prison, really, where they mentally have this hold over you through your devices. So they use social media to program you, to get you hooked on funny videos, spending all your time online rather than spending time with friends and family. There's a massive loneliness crisis going on where people are more disconnected than ever. It's because they are hooked onto their devices, whether it's your social media accounts, whether it's Twitter, whether it's some sort of gambling game, you know, some sort of what's that fucking game? Fruit Ninja, shit like that, you know. Candy Crush, that's the one. You know, they're trying to get you hooked so you're easier to manipulate.
It's the core reason you chase anything that rewards you. Now, when you compile this deep-rooted human desire with the fear of missing out at a global economic crisis, you're left with hundreds of apps on your phone, all tracking your so-called loyalty. It's to the point where every time you buy something, you have to scan the app or swipe the card in the name of gaining virtual points or some elusive benefit for doing so. But dare I say, in many ways, loyalty is unloyal. From increasing the price that you end up paying, to retailers tracking you, harvesting your data, and constantly having you hooked with notifications.
And this is it. It's you know, before we used to live in a free market economy where you could choose where to spend your money, where you could choose where you would shop, what you would purchase. All these massive multinational conglomerates are, you know, there's only so many options left now. Do you know what I mean? That the high street is dying. The mum and pop shops are all going away. All you have left is really online. Where do you go shopping online? It literally is only Amazon where you go, right? So these retailers are now in competition with Amazon because Amazon's already tracking you. They're already seeing what your spending habits are, what you've purchased. They've got a massive history of what you've bought, what you're going to buy, and they're making profiles on you, whether you like it or not, in order for them to get more market share. And why do they want more market share? So they can make more profit. Why do I want to make more profit? Because that is the end goal of all existence, to accumulate as many resources as possible.
To forcing you into various schemes and a digitized world controlling how you can and cannot spend your money.
Keep cash, keep cash, keep cash.
You see,
You know, that geezer, that guy there, you know, he's protesting about keeping cash just because but we're slowly moving to a cashless society, because, you know, everything's going to be digitalized, so they can see where every penny that you're spending, every cent, every penny, every pound, every dollar, so they know where it's going, right? And if the government knows where all this money is going, then they know how much tax to tax you as an individual. And if they know how much to tax you, if they know where your money's going, again, that's another type of control. You know, money used to be freedom. So how do you take away freedom from money? Is by tracking where your finances are going. And, you know, of course, look, if you're doing illicit crimes, if you're doing, you know, something illegal, of course, you know, it's a way for the governments to protect its citizens. But say, for example, if today there's too much pollution on the road, and you know, if you want to travel somewhere, they're going to charge you double the amount of road tax or for that day, because there's too many cars on the road. Only the rich will be able to afford it. So this is another way for them to exert control over poor people, and it only benefits the wealthy.
maybe there's something you haven't quite grasped yet. There's a far bigger game at stake when it comes to the world of consumer loyalty. And not only are you being scammed, you aren't even told half the story.
Blatant discrimination from Tesco's.
Loyalty is crucial.
And that's it. You know, we've got this whole woke agenda right now where they preach more quality for all, more inclusion. In the end, there is no there is no difference in races. There is no difference in sexes. There's no difference in your orientation of sex, in the genders. The only thing that really matters is whether you're poor or rich, whether you're an elite or not an elite, whether you belong to the wealthy club or you don't. All right. And the only way to get into it is by, first of all, you need money, but then also the right connections. That's why my mission here on this channel is to build you to find 100 people who are on the same page as me, who understand what is coming, who understand that to make it in this life, that there's not going to be no uprising against the elites. There's not going to be any big war or anything like that. All there's going to be is you either join the elites, become one of the wealthy, become one of the people in charge, or just become a slave, be plugged in like a battery hen. And the choice is yours. If you believe that you want to live a privileged life, if you want your children to live a privileged life, if you want to make it to the top, the only way to do it now is if you become someone who's famous, someone who has a lot of influence, someone who has a lot of power, basically. And the only way in today's society to do it is by having a following. You need even wealthy billionaires. They used to be hide and secret. Now they're flaunting their wealth online because they know that they need to garner as much attention as possible for them to be seen as a king. And if you believe that you're a king, if you believe you're of royal descent, you need to go to royalinstinct.com and you need to figure out how we can make you be seen as a king, how you can build your kingdom, and how you can prepare for the evil world that is to come, because there's not going to be any escape from it. We're all going to be a part of it, and the only thing left is for you to decide whether you're going to play as a rich person or a poor person. And if you're a poor person and they start tracking what you're eating, what you're purchasing, it's going to be a very bad time for you.
To any business, and it's not going to go away anytime soon.
I love Tesco.
You may be sat there thinking how having a club card or the Starbucks app is apparently evil or unfair, and you ask yourself, is this video somehow an overstatement or an exaggeration of what is true? But sadly, this is not the case. And for you to understand any of the points I'm making, we have to work back to what you already know. A loyalty scheme, by definition, is a marketing method used by businesses to attract and retain customers. And you are undoubtedly in one, whether that be Tesco, McDonald's, Nectar, Subway, or the hundreds of others. The premise is simple. The more you shop somewhere, the more you get rewarded for doing so. Through points, treats, discounts, cashback. It sounds innocent, doesn't it? And for the most part, it once was. Up until 10 years ago, nearly every form of loyalty scheme was nothing more than a flimsy paper.
And this is how things usually start. Like everything starts with very innocent. We're going to do this for your benefit. And he's about to go into a description of how the loyalty scheme started. They used to just be like a piece of paper where you can click points on, like, and they literally just like scribble a date on it, for example, or give it a little stamp. And then it's evolved into digital tracking via, your phone, via an app. And again, it's just that the transition from paper to digital is very seamless. Oh, this is going to make it easier. Instead of carrying a cardboard card, instead of carrying a plastic card, it will just be on your phone. Your phone's already in your pocket. Why wouldn't you want the convenience of an app? Everything that is presented to you as very convenient, in the end, it's going to fuck you up the ass. Because, like I said, if you're doing something that's against the common narrative, if they see that you're purchasing, like meat, for example, here in the EU, here in the UK, there's different stipulations put on farmers to reduce the amount of livestock that they have. So, for example, if you have a beef farmer, a cattle farmer, he might have had 1,000 cows on his farm. Right now, he's only allowed 600. What do you think that's going to do to the price of cattle? The price of beef is going to go up, right? Okay. Now there's less supply of beef on the market. The demand is still there, right? But the supply of it's less, so the price goes up. Now, if they start rationing, saying, "Oh, we have a cattle shortage, we have a beef shortage," you're only allowed a kilo of beef a week, for example, right? you're only allowed to purchase a kilo of beef before. Well, what if you want to eat 2 kilos that week? Do you get what I mean? What if you want to eat 4 pieces of steak, right? Well, you're not allowed to now because you've already gone past your quota. And how are they going to know, right? Well, they're going to facially track you via cameras. And when you go to pay, there's already a camera pointing at you, reading your face, facial recognition system. And there, when you go to pay with your club card, with your Nectar card, it's going to say, oh, you've already had your allocation for this week. And then you might say, oh, I might go to, you know, Tesco one day, to Asda the other day, or you go to this superstore, then next week I go to that superstore. But in the back end, they're all talking to each other. It's the same system, right? And this will be trickled down from the government. They're going to impose this on you. And in the end, and what's the solution going to be? That you get to eat Beyond Meat, vegan alternatives, or insect alternatives. And if you think this is scaremongering, if you don't believe it, all you gotta do is look into the WEF forum and see what their plan is to reduce meat consumption.
Card with some stickers or stamps on it, with the slight exception of big retailers. And despite some people faking their way to a free coffee, this approach is arguably better. You get rewarded for your loyalty, in exchange the business gains a consistent customer. But as technology grew, a monumental shift to digital loyalty took place. Now all of a sudden you had to exchange information about yourself, your name, your address, your phone number, your email, and sign yourself up.
And think about that, like just in your day-to-day life, how often do you have to do something where, you know, to enter this website, you have to enter your email address, to do this little thing, you have to give up your phone number. And it's, you know, sometimes you're doing something and you might not even want to opt into it, but just to allow the hassle, you give up your email address anyway. Okay. And in the background, your email address is being linked to thousands of websites, right? Like if you've had an email address for the last 5-10 years, like you've signed up to like 1,000 things probably, right? And in the background, they're building up this customer avatar of you, right, linked to your name, to your profile, and in the coming years, this is going to be used against you. And the only way to escape it is by becoming someone who's famous, right? So you need to become someone who has influence, someone who has a following, literally famous. And then once you reach that step, right, you have to then accumulate wealth. You have to become a king in your own right. You have to be seen as a king and build your kingdom. So this is what I'm doing. I'm looking. This is my bat signal, right? I'm sending out a signal to the other X-Men, the other Avengers, who want to join a place, a community where they will be taught how to live like a king, how to become a king, how to build a kingdom, and use their influence for the greater good of humanity, how to save people, because in the end, we're all about to get fucked, right? I don't want to get fucked. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be bent over, taking up the ass. If you don't want to be bent over and taking up the ass either, then I suggest you find a way how to keep yourself safe, how to become a king, because the only way you'll be protected is if you have a kingdom. And what I teach my clients is I teach them how to become famous, but not by being an OnlyFans star or being a TikToker. It's I suggest you become a subject matter expert. I suggest you become someone who is seen as the leading authority in your niche, in your particular subject, in your particular area of expertise. And even if you're not a subject matter expert yet, I can show you how to become one. I can show you how to keep yourself safe. I can show you how to build an audience, how to build and garner attention and become someone who is seen as a king in his own right. And this is the only thing that's left, because if you think, oh, I'm just going to continue doing my job, I'm going to continue living my life in this certain way. Well, AI is coming, AI is taking away your job. AI will be able to do your job, 100 times quicker than what you can. So 80% of the human race is about to be made redundant, right? So we're all going to be unemployed. And if we're unemployed and not of any use, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think you'll be allowed to have children? If you can't support your own children, are you going to be allowed to have children? There's going to be forced sterilizations probably. They might inject you with something that causes that. Who knows, right? We live in strange times. The only thing that you do know is that AI is here, and AI will displace a lot of people. If you think you're safe, great, go ahead, live your life, right? If you are worried about it, right, how do you keep yourself safe? Well, the only thing that's left is if you can become a subject matter expert, if you can become someone who garners attention, someone who people want to listen to, become a leader. And this is what we do around here. We build leaders, we build people who knew in the heart of hearts that they were destined for something great, but they never quite figured out how to do it. The world's changing so quick. It's like one minute you think, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money in crypto. The next thing is like, the ball runs over and you're caught with your pants down. All right. There's not a lot of time left. If you want to change your life, if you want to do something great with your life, if you think that you understand what's coming, you understand the issues that we're facing, I suggest you go to rawinstinct.com, join the mentorship, and then we can help build you. I can help build you a kingdom. I can help you become a subject matter expert in something, and I can help you start to monetize your fame.
Up to be tracked for your spending habits and your location, all to obtain the same reward you once had.
Say goodbye to these. Say hello to the app.
Doesn't seem fair, does it? This change not only ruled out those less familiar with technology, but also those cynical about how big companies handle data.
We know a lot about our customers. We have a unique advantage in this respect. We've got...
Yeah, just at the beginning of the video, the news anchor said that Sainsbury's, which is a supermarket here in the UK, sold their customers' information for 300 million on just data profiles. That's crazy. Why do people want this information? 300 million just for a bit of data of like, oh, I bought some toilet paper, I bought some bananas. There's a lot of money in this because they want to know what you're doing at all times. They're using this information against you, right? You gave that information for free to a supermarket, and they made 300 million off the back of tracking you. Okay, there's a reason they're doing this. There's something serious going on.
Got Clubcard. We've got the data. We've got the insight.
And fairly so. Despite claims of thorough protection, it's commonly acknowledged that your information is sold on and harvested. Your data is never really yours.
It's an invasion of your privacy. Do you know what I mean? Like, what for example, if you're buying like a pack of condoms, and now there's a company that you don't know who this company is. They sold it to another private entity. You don't know where your data is, what they're doing with it. Do you get what I mean? It's an invasion of your privacy. These companies have no respect for you, and if these companies aren't having respect for you, like who owns these companies, right? It's again wealthy individuals, right? Like, because these companies are traded on the stock exchange. Everything's done for profit. They just see you as numbers on a screen. There's no humanity left. They see you as peasants. They will trade you like livestock. They're trading your data at the moment. What, don't you think they'll trade your kidneys if they could? If they were given a chance. These people are cannibals. These people are monsters. The only thing left for you to do is you can't fight against them. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fight against them and topple over the system. People have been saying that for years. that especially in the modern world, people have been saying that for a few years. Yeah, we're going to start a revolution, right? That's what the 60s were about. Revolutions came and went, and the wealthy stayed wealthy. The only thing for you left to do is become a wealthy person yourself. Right? If you can't beat them, join them. The only hope you have is that if someone like you joins the wealthy, the uber elites, that you have that you remain a good person in your heart, that you make the right decisions, instead of selling people into forced slavery, really.
But more importantly, the change to digital loyalty impose a strong imbalance, where the business now gets a better exchange than you, the customer. This led every retailer to introduce or revamp their loyalty schemes, all in the hopes of tracking, retaining, and marketing to their consumers.
So everything comes down to data, right? They want. You've heard of the thing customer avatar, right? That when you sell a product, you have a customer avatar. Who is the person purchasing this item? And if they're harvesting this data, this is they're building literal profiles on each one of you, so they have actual avatars of each individual person. They've got your name linked to it. They've already got pictures of you if you shopped in those places. I mean, it's over, guys. It's over. And the thing is, even if you opt in and you don't use the club cards or whatever, I'm sure you're paying with your bank card, right? And your bank card will have Mr. X on it, right? Your name's what? Bob Bruce. Mr. Bob Bruce, he goes down, he pays with his credit card. So your name is linked, right? All they gotta do is put a picture in front of the cashier, in front of the till. They take a picture of you. They're still building this regardless. You don't even have the choice to opt in or not. At the moment, you have to opt into it. But soon they're going to do away with all of that, so you won't even have the choice to opt out of it.
But now you ask yourself, how would multi-billion-pound companies ever convince the masses to hand over their data, allow themselves to be tracked, and have their information shared? Well, just give them a free portion of fries.
And that's... I mean, it sounds stupid, right? But like during the height of the pandemic, people were offered to get vaccines in exchange for a free burger. I believe in New York they were offering burgers in exchange for you to take the jab. In certain states in America, I believe they offered you weed or alcohol. In some states, they'll bribe you to it, right? And people do crazy things for a free portion of fries, right? They will literally sell their lives away in exchange for this. And I remember personally, I was very disappointed with a lot of people, how they behaved during the lockdowns, during the 2020 Corona epidemic. And you saw people's true colors, just so they can have their holidays back. They were like, yeah, I'll take a injection. No idea what's in it. No idea, if they'll live right for another 10 years. They're just, oh yeah, it's very inconvenient right now, so I'll just do it because it's more convenient. Yeah, people will just sell each other out. People will buy any lie that the people in charge will sell them. And I think this is a good place to end it, right? The only thing that's left, right, because AI is going to take a job, right? The supermarkets, big tech, they're surveilling you already, right? Soon you're going to be imprisoned by your own thoughts. So, because you don't want to do the wrong thing, you don't want to offend the wrong woke person, right? So they're controlling your speech, they're controlling your movement, they're controlling your finances, right? You're literally being enslaved and shackled without you even realizing it. The only thing that's left, right, is for you to become famous, for you to become someone who has their own audience, because that's one thing that the government can't take away. They can't take away people's audiences. And AI can't really compete with that yet. You have a small window of opportunity left maybe just a year, where you can get in on this on the ground up. You can build your kingdom alongside me. I can teach you how to overcome the next phase of humanity, how to survive the next evolution, right? Because there's going to be a lot of winners and losers. There's going to be a lot of losers, right? Only a small amount of winners. And if you believe you're a winner, go to royalinstinct.com. And until next time, I will see you soon.